West Ham are tonight celebrating their first win at Tottenham for 4 years. They came from behind with a 2-1 victory. James Ward-Prowse scoring the winning goal after a defensive mix-up with his 6th career goal against Spurs. And here is West Ham's match winner now.
James, not bad for your first Tottenham-West Ham London derby.
Yeah, good result, good performance. I think a lot of pre-game sort of preparation was around them and their qualities, but we know what we're about as a team and as a club, and I think that epitomised the group that we've got at the moment. It's a strong group and heading in the right direction.
What changed half-time and the second half?
I think they obviously got a disappointing goal from our standards, obviously conceding from a set piece, but we were always in the game with a 1-0, and obviously the next goal's important, and we got back in the game with a really important goal, and of course we dug deep, we were solid, and I think we've got to deserve the 3 points.
What did the manager say though in terms of changing the approach?
I think just be hard to beat. We know we were in the game, we weren't playing too badly in the first half, and you have to be clinical on the counter-attack when you get your chances, and we certainly were.
Have you scored a goal like that before where you hit the post and you instantly have to follow up?
No, I haven't. No, I was just more concerned about not hitting Jarod. But yeah, thankfully it came in, and sometimes you get that luck, and today that was there for us.
Jarod Bowen in that central position, what is he offering? Because obviously that isn't his natural position, but he looks like he should have played there all his career right now.
Yeah, I think that says a lot about him as a player, but more so, his personality and his work rate. I think people don't see the work that he does off the ball, and leads the line very well, and he's certainly deserving his goals at the moment, for sure.
The manager has said he's expected more from you this season as a team. Does this feel like a statement win in a way?
Yeah, I think it does. I think we're unbeaten in 5 now, and we're in a real good position in the Europa League as well. So we're going well on all fronts, and it's about following this result up with another positive one.
But to come here to Tottenham, and I think it's only the second win in 11 London derbies away from home for West Ham. This is significant, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's a sign of where the club is and where we're going. That momentum has carried on from the European success last year, and it's fantastic to be part of it.
Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, and it extends their unbeaten run in all competitions to 6 matches. They're on a decent run at the minute now, Tim.
Decent. Wow. Incredible. I mean, flying high in the Carabao Cup. I mean,
in the quarterfinals.
In still in Europe, and going well and managing it well on the Thursday night football. Fantastic in the Premier League at the moment. They look really solid. They're a David Moyes side, aren't they? They're not too pleasing on the eye at times. Paquetá is a very, very good player, but I'd like to see him in forward areas, but he's got him working back the way, and he buys fouls for his team, he takes them up the field. You've got Ward-Prowse, who's probably one of the best signings of the season, and you've got Jarod Bowen up there, righty, who is working tirelessly, but not just running around. He has real quality as well, doesn't he?
Absolutely. And that's what you want, because they defend so well. And then, like Tim rightly said there, you've got Paquetá, who I think David Moyes said the other day that they know what he's capable of, and they want to make sure they build around him because they know what he can bring. But some of the times he does do things that kind of causes them problems. But once they get that sorted, with the fact that they defend so well, and then you've got people up front like Jarod Bowen, and you've got James Ward-Prowse backing him up. There you saw them with the winning goal, how they hunted them down there. Then you've kind of got a kind of little bit of a combination where it's from back to front. It's really quite solid, and they're very hard to break down.
Yeah. I mean, from the David Moyes perspective, he's just playing the way he knows, right? Doesn't matter whether there are numerous flair players in that 11.
It doesn't complicate it. Yeah. And that helps, because when you're on a training field, it doesn't complicate it for the players. They know exactly what's needed and what's required and what he demands out of them. People like Souček now, I think last year was a very quiet year for him, because he almost tried to play him as a defensive midfielder. But he's about energy, he's about getting forward, getting to players out of possession and breaking into the box. And he heads the ball out of his own box so many times. I mean, it's invaluable. So when you're allowing, the tactic was when Tottenham had the ball, don't let him come through the middle of us. Let him go to the outsides and we will deal with the crosses. And that man just puts and thickens up the midfield and thickens up the defence, and he works tirelessly. I think they've got a lot of selfless players, but that's because the manager instills it into him. You don't want to work hard out of possession, you do not play.
So let's have a look at how the game unfolded. Only 11 minutes on the clock, and let's not forget, Tottenham initially took the lead from a player who's just returned from a 3-match suspension in centre-half Cristian Romero.
This is a great header. I mean, he was on his way backwards. I mean, Fabianski has absolutely no chance. But he just, it was poor defending from West Ham's point of view, especially set pieces. They normally defend them very, very well. But he's got to, he's got the neck muscles there, righty, to get that over the top of Fabianski.
Really good head, and West Ham be very disappointed with that because, like you rightly said, Tim, they've got so much height in there that, that's the kind of thing that they'll be comfortable with. So to concede a goal like that, David Moyes would have been very, very disappointed.
Yeah, but Tottenham were dominant after that, Tim. And they'll be disappointed they didn't kick on.
Yeah, but they've been dominant in most games. I mean, the possession was different class. I mean, they keep control of the ball. They're just not creating enough. With Maddison not being there. And West Ham played to a tactic where they just brought them on, dragged them on, and still had a counter threat. And they had breathers in the game because the likes of Paquetá took them forward. Jarod Bowen, who we mentioned, they've got quality. Kudos is a lot better than what they've had recently. So they take them up the field and they always look to threat. And they were happy to concede and suffer out of possession. And they were just really tuned into it. It was almost part of the game plan, and they're happy to do it because the manager sets the plan and they stick to it. And that's really key.
Which is what we said, right? Because against Brighton, we spoke about how they picked up the 3 points, West Ham with 22% possession. Today they had 25. So it was almost identical. A bit too much.
Well, the thing is like I say, Paquetá is the ace in the pack for them.
Yeah.
For when they do need something creative. But West Ham's game plan is to be solid, to be defensively very sound. You can see how narrow it is because they want them to go around the wings. Yeah. So then what happens is that the ball goes in the box, they head it out, and then if you get it to Paquetá, he's got the quality to get it to Bowen, get it out to Kudos, and then from there they get on with it. It's very, very simple.
So West Ham stuck to their game plan and they had to wait until the second half to equalise. And there is a touch of fortune about this because clearly the initial shot took a double ricochet. Before then, it was dispatched by a man very much in form, in Jarod Bowen. Yeah,
but I think what we see about that, yes, it was a hopeful ball up front from them, but the way he kept that ball going, and look at him, he's going in for the pass. He gets the luck, but then he finishes it really well. But look, from here, this is great play up front. Look at, there's no one around him for like 5, 10, 15 yards. He does well to keep it, keeps the ball going, and now he's going inside. Very fortunate there with the rebound, but then the composure, bam, and finishes it.
But he needs to lift that right, doesn't he?
Absolutely, because your goalkeeper's going to totally commit himself to there. I'd probably check the keeper there because he's going to dive. I'd have checked it myself, but just get it in the goal. Just get it in the goal, and he's done well there. And that would have given West Ham a real boost, knowing that listen, we don't need to do too much. We just stay in this, and then that would have kind of made Tottenham feel like, oh gosh, here we go again.
Yeah. And there he is. He scored in 7 consecutive away appearances. Only the 3rd Premier League player to do so.
Wow.
And those 2 other names aren't bad.
Oh, but that's at West Ham.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. Yeah. That's at West Ham. That's how well they're doing.
And he's a winger, by the way.
Yeah. Well, is he?
Well, I think he has been playing up front.
I think Moyes keeps saying he's a winger because he wants them to splash out on the centre forward.
Moyes has got that about him. He always finds somebody that he turns into a striker. He'll do that. You know, he's had a bit of bad luck in getting strikers, Moyes. And having a striker that scores goals for him continually. But he gets people like Fellaini, Tim Cahill. You're seeing Jarod Bowen now scoring goals. Yeah. That's what he does.
He makes them effective,
doesn't he? He makes them very effective,
Yeah. We'll get back to Bowen in a second, but let's have a look at the winning goal then. From James Ward-Prowse. And we talk about fortune about that first goal from West Ham's perspective, but here, I mean, what was happening with Spurs in defence?
I mean, Ward-Prowse wins the second ball again, and Doggy now turns around and sees his goalkeeper. Kick it, come and take everything. Or if you're going to put your hands on it, collect the ball. Do not palm it out. And Doggy makes the initial mistake, but Vicario has to be braver once he goes with his hands. But like I say, there's a second ball. Ward-Prowse keeps it alive. And then Doggy makes a poor decision. I mean, and he rolls it back. For me, he has to come and kick that and take it out.
You know what?
But he does so well there, Jarod Bowen, just to get out of the way, because Ward-Prowse doesn't want to hit him with that ball. But he finishes it brilliantly. He keeps himself alive. And it's 2 left-footed shots. And
you know the thing with that one, though, guys, is that you can see with Vicario there, he's no way expecting that because he's lunging with his hands.
Desperation.
It's a terrible back pass from Udogie.
Yeah. Which is uncharacteristic from him because he's had a very good season.
And Doggy, and Vicario's been good as well. I don't think it's Vicario's fault. But I think once he goes, if you watch it again, he's almost as feathers in the box because he's scared. I mean, he has to go with his hands, he has to collect that, or he takes everything out with his kick. Poor back pass, we know that. But he's not even watching that. I mean, he's just putting his hands on.
He's unsighted, though, isn't he?
You know, the thing is, it's not even a case of unsighted or anything. You can see he's not. The pass back is so poor. Yeah. He's not favourite. So he's actually had to dive to actually make up the ground. It's a terrible back pass. He's got to pass that away from the goal, over to the left, so the goalie goes over there. It's a bad back pass, and in the end, his desperation is he can't, because remember, he cannot catch it.
Yeah.
He can't use his hands, to catch it. He's meant to go to his feet. So that's why you saw Jarod Bowen actually appealing for something. I was thinking, what he's doing? Oh, of course, he can't touch it with his hands.
But he can't go with his hands anyway. No. Even to palm it out.
Exactly. No. So this is where he's absolutely kiboshed his keeper there.
Yeah. OK, well, it's a big win in the end, though, of course, for West Ham and for their head coach, David Moyes.
Well, David, congratulations. What changed at half-time? Because it felt that Spurs were very much on top before the break, but it was a different game after that.
Yeah, they were probably still on top in the second half as well, but we counter-attacked better, we played better with the ball and we got it. We were a bit more aggressive, as you rightly said at the start. But Tottenham played really well in the first half.
But what did you get across in terms of the message at half-time to make them play the way that you've just described?
Well, we wanted to play better with the ball. We thought that we had chances to get out more often than we did. We thought we gave up a few opportunities to get the ball in the box as well. But I think it was more a couple of really good quick counter-attacks. The players done a really good job. We were resolute. But, hey, by the way, we played a hugely talented Tottenham team tonight. And, we had a sort of defensive platform, organisation, structure to it, which got us a result. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But we also had really good players who can play on the break and can take the ball. And saw Mohamed and Paqueta and Jarod and that. We had forward players who could do that.
There were a little bit of fortunate moments about both your goals, but also some really good play in the build-up to both of them as well.
Yeah, that's right. I thought the first half very little went for us with a couple of corner kicks hit off. What I thought we were going to get for corner kicks hit off their legs and our legs, and then we didn't get anything. So the second half, certainly the first goal was carried a bit of luck. They go to clear it and hit it against one of the defenders. But the general play to get into those areas was much better. Sometimes you need to get a bit of luck against the better teams, and we got that tonight. How
satisfying, how pleasurable is it to come from behind at a very talented Tottenham, dig in and come away with a win?
Well, we keep getting reminded of it after half-time. We're giving goals away, so it was good that we sort of got goals and went on to get a victory. So, look, it was a huge win for us tonight. Really important 3 points. But I've got to say, a talented Tottenham team tonight, and we've done a great job to keep them out.
And a word about Lucas, obviously his first Premier League appearance of the season, some big saves in the second half.
Yeah, and the biggest compliment I could give him would be to say it wasn't anything I didn't expect. He's a terrific goalkeeper, and he has been for many years.
And when do we expect Alphonse to be available again?
Not quite sure yet. He's just got a little bit of ligament damage in his wrist, so we're not quite sure if he's ready. We thought he'd be ready for tonight, so we'll find out.
Yeah, he never wants to go toe-to-toe with any opponents, particularly like a team like Tottenham. And that game plan worked to an absolute T, as we've already mentioned. But just one quick word as we return to Jarod Bowen. Highest-scoring Englishman at the moment, now 10 goals in all competitions. He got 7 from out wide, and obviously with Mikel Antonio injured, he's now leading the line down the middle. It's a very different role, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah.
It's less physical. He gets, as in it's less physical out wide. Mm-hmm. But down the middle, you get the ball less as well. You do get the ball less, but what we saw, what he is capable of doing is the way he fought for that ball, long, hopeful ball up, fought for it, fought off the defender, held it, got the possession, and got the play going. Now, for Jarod Bowen, who's probably started out as a winger, you don't want to be getting into that kind of game. No. That's a tiring, hard, tough game. That was the kind of game that I had to play. But coming from the wings, where the defender doesn't know where you are, they're always having to check their shoulder, and then you're coming and you're on the move. It's a much better position for strikers. That's why we're seeing those wingers come strikers scoring so many goals. They're coming on the blind side, you know what I mean? They're making runs behind people. Yeah. Some of the times they might have to do that kind of hold-up play, but not all the time. And then if you're a clinical finisher, you're going to probably score a lot, like a Mo Salah. Yeah. You're going to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's made light of the absence of Mikel Antonio.
The only thing it's not helping is his international prospects, because they can't nail him down to a position, really. I mean, he's quite flexible and he does his best wherever he's asked to play.
So Tottenham continue to stutter. They've only taken 1 point from the last 5 Premier League games after a 2-1 home defeat to West Ham. Let's get the thoughts of the Spurs head coach, Ange Postecoglou.
Ange, it feels like a tough one to take for a lot of the fans out there. Did you deserve better?
You get what you deserve. That's not the question for us. It's another game where we were well in control. Probably should have scored, a lot more goals, and we kept West Ham in the game and conceded 2 soft goals. So ultimately, what you deserve is not really important. It's the fact that you haven't got anything out of the game.
What was lacking in terms of level of performance then compared to the weekend?
Well, as I said, we just created a lot of chances to score goals and kill the game off, and you keep the opposition in it when you don't do that. And we just lacked some real conviction in the box, and we conceded 2 soft goals.
Yeah, did West Ham cause you more problems in the second half, or did you cause your own problems?
As I said, I thought we created a lot of chances. That we kept West Ham in the game, and both the goals were pretty much self-inflicted.
Does it become psychological with this pattern of taking the lead and then losing the lead?
No, it just becomes a matter of us not taking our chances, and we've got to be better in the box and in the decisions we make, and have a lot more conviction about our finishing.
What do the players then need to take from this? What do you reflect on?
Well, it's disappointing for our fans, disappointing for us in terms of the progress we're trying to make. But it is what it is. We've still got a long way to go as a football team, and days like today show that.
It's still developing. That has to be the overall sense.
Well, I mean, that depends on what kind of progress we make, and it's fair to say today was a disappointing day.
Just have a look at this, actually. Spurs, as a result of what we saw against West Ham today, they've become the first team in Premier League history to go 1-0 up in 5 games in a row and not win any of them. Mm-hmm. Is this... How much of that is down to Ange's philosophy? In very many respects, it's all or nothing, isn't it?
Well, it's down to Ange's philosophy that they were top of the league as well. Let's not forget that. But, it's been a bad run of games. And he does want them to play at all costs.
Yes.
But the players have to make better decisions themselves. Certainly the Wolves game I can think of when they're overplaying, when the game's already won, and then all of a sudden it gets away from them. They will continue playing from the first minute to the last second of the game the way he wants them to play, which is open, expansive football, hence why the fans are enjoying watching it. But sometimes it can border on a little bit of naivety. Not the coach necessarily, but certainly from the players, because they're in winning positions. And sometimes we know as a player, the game stakes, you just make sure the opposition don't score. If you look at West Ham today, there was no gimmicks from West Ham. They never, ever give Tottenham a leg up. When they were defending, they were kicking it long, they were getting it out of there, they're playing percentage football. But when Ange is talking there, he talks about we need to be more clinical. I didn't see him create too many chances today. I really didn't. Their XG was 1.4, 1.7, and
Spurs was
for
2.
West Ham it was 2.7. So West Ham deserved to score more goals, and they actually did. So they're not creating enough. And then Maddison's missing. We know that it's a huge miss for them. But when teams sit back, they struggle to break them down. They become a little bit predictable. Yes, they control possession. They won every single stat there, apart from the one what mattered, because they scored 2, West Ham.
I think that they've got to stick with what he's doing. I can only look at Mikel Arteta, and when he started, what he was trying to do. You look at the mistakes that they're making, and probably if he gets different players, maybe the players that he believes might be able to play this role better. Because you look at some of the things that they've done. You could look at Udogie for instance. That was just poor play, terrible play, and you can get that out of your game, because the way that they're playing, especially with the managers they've had recently, top managers that they've had recently, talking about this team won't do this team won't do that, they're not good enough for this and that. But what we've seen with Ange and the players that he's brought in up to this point, and the way they're trying to play, is we're seeing something from Spurs. Yeah. Now what you need to see is them stick to the game plan. Obviously, they're going to have to tighten up with some of the mistakes they're making. I still feel that the line is going to be a problem for them, simply because, like I said, That should have been, Jack Grealish should have been through on goal and they got saved by the referee. So that was 94th minute, they're still doing it. So they need to do something in that respect. But I would say that you've got to stick to your beliefs. But at the same time, the players have to be a lot more disciplined in what they're doing. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
It's game management, and it really is up to the players on the pitch. You played a lot of football matches. They have to know when it's right to play and when it's not.
OK. We're going to be looking back at the day's other game.